The interviewer that exposed Blake Lively for being pretty blunt and not a very nice person to interview has come forward to express why they dropped that interview when there was already a bit of a chaotic storm around Blake Lively with the It Ends With Us controversy. Now, if you haven't been following the situation recently, go over and check the past 2 videos that I've done. The first one kind of gives you insight into everything. The last one gives you a bit more insight into the It Ends With Us kind of controversy especially. But at the time of it all kicking off, Kirsty Fla over on her YouTube channel dropped this absolute bombshell of a video just out of the blue. And it was called The Blake Lively Interview That Made Me Want to Quit My Job. And it just added fuel to the fire, getting well over 3.2 million views. And obviously, the interviewer waiting for the perfect moment to drop this interview was the top comment with 18,000 likes. Yeah, it's not great. Now, Kirsty Fla has come forward and said that she would like an apology from Blake Lively for this interview because apparently she's not able to get pregnant. And then, well, let's just watch the interview to refresh your minds about the whole situation, and then we're going to take a look at her latest response video because she's had a lot of controversy recently about dropping it around this time. But here's that.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
Straight off the bat, obviously, very awkward. We're only 4 seconds in, and it's awkward.
What about my bump?
You've got 2 nice ones.
And they are kind of bumps, aren't they?
No, not bumps. The lovely lady lumps. Check it out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are
you
you
like the movie? Are you a Woody Allen fan?
I love most of his movies, and this one was so visually amazing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Did you guys love wearing those kind of clothes that you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And working in digital.
Everyone wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
Again, it's just a very awkward moment. So Blake Lively's obviously making this person's job particularly difficult. Now, a lot of people have said, like Kirsty was asking boring questions, very surface level, not really getting too deep into things. And, that's probably why Blake was a little bit bored and pedantic. Maybe it's an excuse for Blake, maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe let me know what you think on that. But obviously the timing of this interview dropping, bear in mind, this happened in 2016. So this happened well over 8 years ago. And this person has hung on to this interview for 8 years. And then the second that Blake Lively's name is getting dragged through the mud, Kirsty drops this interview and everyone's like, that's a bit weird. Obviously, everyone was intrigued because they wanted to see it, but everyone was just like, this is really weird. Why have you waited until now to drop this? Well, she shares a bit of a video to, the real reason my Blake Lively interview went viral. Let's see what she's got to say.
Hi everyone. This has been a really crazy week for me, and I felt like I had to actually say something about it. This is my dog Oscar. Yes, he keeps me sane. So after I posted the interview with Blake Lively that a lot of people have been watching, I got so many questions from people asking why I decided to post that interview now, 8 years later. And the reason for that is that I got contacted by another reporter who told me a story that was a little similar to this one that he had experienced. And then we started talking about comparing notes about this. And then I just felt like, you know what? It's not okay to behave like that. And I think it needs to be called out.
Fair enough, I guess. I mean, looking at it from the situation in its entirety, obviously, Blake was very blunt with the situation. She was very pedantic. She was very, she didn't compose herself in the best way. Yeah, she was pregnant. Yeah, people obviously usually congratulate you on your pregnancy, whatever. But at the same time, in those moments, Blake Lively's got a job to do. You wouldn't go into a business conference, right, if you're trying to sell, because she's trying to sell the movie. You wouldn't go into a business conference in front of, your stakeholders, your shareholders, whoever, and just someone says, how's our figures doing? I don't know, how's your figures doing? You wouldn't do something like that, would you? You would, you'd be like, you'd be a bit more professional, and that's what kind of Blake Lively needed to be, a bit more professional. But I think, you know, the timing, I do feel like there was a little bit of an axe to grind with it in there. She was like, I smell opportunity. So, yeah.
And so that's the reason why I did that now so much later, and also because it took me a while, to be honest with you. It took me a while to actually get over it. It affected me for a while because it made me nervous when I was interviewing other people after that, and I blamed myself for it for a long time because I felt like I did or said something wrong, and that's the reason why I waited so long. And I actually hadn't read up about all the other controversy that was going on with Blake Lively and her new movie, It Ends With Us.
Really? I find it hard to believe. I don't know why. I just feel like it was just too perfect. It was too perfect. Down to the last minute details. It was too perfect. Like, it was, you know, the controversy comes out, Blake Lively's getting, you know, slammed across the internet, across media, across all forms of media, and then she drops her video just to kind of throw the knife in a little bit more. It was just too perfect.
So it was kind of a coincidence, I have to say, that this ended up being posted right now. I also have to say thank you to everyone who contacted me and sent me beautiful messages. I'm so touched by it. You have no idea how much it means to me that you've been reaching out to me.
By the way, I'm not excusing Blake Lively's actions within that interview. I just need to say that, you know, how Blake Lively conducted herself was less than substandard. You know, she had a professional job to do, like I've said, and she should have handled that a lot better. But, you know, I'm just saying, it was a little bit convenient.
He's sending me messages on Instagram and commenting on YouTube. I think there's like over 10,000 comments on that video, which is kind of crazy to me. And a lot of people are calling out the behavior of these two women. And I think now I understand why it has gone viral like it has. I think it's not only because of Blake Lively, but I think it's because a lot of people could kind of resonate with this situation. Especially, I've been contacted by a lot of women, and I feel like a lot of people have experienced something, not exactly like this, but a bit similar to it.
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of people have come forward and said as well, is like, you know, Blake Lively is apparently notoriously difficult to work with. You know, even an insider who came out, which I spoke about in yesterday's video, came forward to kind of express everything that had gone on with Blake, but also with Justin Baldoni, who was also the other lead actor and director of the movie. Apparently he was really difficult, and they were just butting heads all the time. So, you know, I guess it's a bit of give and take.
Like, experience that mean girl energy from someone, or you felt left out or bullied. Most of the time this happens when we're younger, but as you can see from this video, it does happen when you're grown-ups too. I think it's quite interesting, you know, thinking about it now, how most parents would tell their children, you know, if they're getting bullied or if they're bullying someone, it's always like, you go and say sorry to that boy or to that girl right now. And in this situation, the opposite happened. No one came out and apologized, and they probably told her, don't come out, don't react, don't do anything, we'll take care of this for you. We'll just say that it's the journalist's fault and that you were offended by her, and then we'll just plant some other good positive stories. And I think that's the problem in Hollywood and many other places, that people don't own up to their mistakes because they're afraid that it's going to backfire or that it's going to make them look bad. And I think it's time to change that. And I hope...
Yeah, I agree. You know, a lot of people over in Hollywood have got this like God complex where they think that the world owes them something because they're famous and they're celebrities, and, you know, they're idolized by millions, and no one owes you shit. And you are in no place to lecture the public of anything because, you know, celebrities are very much on this pedestal, and they don't know what the real world's like whatsoever. Some of them, you know, there's a lot of them that are, you know, rags to riches story, and they know how tough the real world could be. But, you know, especially these Nepo babies that get, you know, born into money, born into Hollywood and stuff like this, you know.
I hope this video that I posted could help people own up to their mistakes. And I think, you know, if Blake Lively would have come out in front of this, things would have been very different. Also, I want to shout out to Kristen Stewart, who was the person I interviewed after the horrific incident, and she was the most wonderful person to interview. So she saved my day, and she, you know, I was terrified walking into that interview because I had just experienced what I had. So for her to just like treat me, she was so sweet. So I'm so happy I interviewed her afterwards. Anyways, I just want to say thank you again to everyone for being there and being so sweet, and it really warmed my heart. It makes me really emotional actually when I open my inbox and people are just saying really nice things.
Fair enough.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You all want to make me continue doing this job. And the way that this situation that was so horrific for me turned into something positive and maybe can help other people in the future to, you know, nip it in the butt. Don't behave like that. And if it happens to you, speak out. Don't let people get away with bad behavior. I think it's time to put the record straight.
Fair enough. I mean, you know, there's two sides to this, isn't there? We've obviously got the, you know, Kirsten side, which is like, yes, this is absolutely wrong. How, you know, Blake Lively managed the situation, regardless of whether she's pregnant and all the rest of it. You know, she's got a job to do. She's a professional, and you know, she should have been professional in that moment. And then obviously we've got the Blake Lively side of things, which is like, you know, the caveat to it, which is kind of like, I don't know how to defend Blake Lively. I'm trying to be like unbiased, and I'm trying to be I'm trying to play devil's advocate, but I just don't know how to excuse that behavior. Because she was pregnant, I guess. I mean, you know, yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to scare the hell out of that like button, and I'll speak to you later. Peace.